Hey, what's up everybody? Patrick Tighe here. Today we're talking about the new Nikon Z5II. I am pumped for this camera. I cannot express the excitement that I have that Nikon is refreshing this camera. This right here was my first mirrorless camera, the Nikon Z5. I got this in December of 2020, I think it was, during Nikon's Yellow Trial Program. It allowed me to get this for 30 days or so, along with an FTZ adapter. I think it was FTZ1 adapter, and I could try this out. In essence, free of charge, could ship it back to Nikon at the end of the 30 days, but I ended up keeping it. I did this to get a backup body, a reliable, mirrorless, full frame, 24 megapixel body, and that's the Z5. The colors from the photos are excellent. The autofocus does leave a little bit to be desired, especially when I look at my Z8 and my ZF. Those are powerhouses when it comes to IAF and autofocus, especially in low light. Having the new Nikon Z5 II with an improved autofocus in low light, all of the pretty much internals that the Nikon ZF has, along with the new Expeed 7 processor, it's going to be a no-brainer to get the new Nikon Z5 II, especially with the price tag well below $2,000 at I think around $1,700. The fact that this also relies on 2 SD cards means that you as a professional prosumer, consumer photographer can upgrade your camera kit to the new Nikon Z5 II with minimal added costs. That's a huge thing. When you look at the Nikon Z8, when you look at the Nikon Z6 III, those really require a CF Express Type B card to get the full potential out of there. So for me, part of the reason I decided to really upgrade to the Z5 initially for the mirrorless experience was because I wanted these SD card slots. I had a lot of SD cards coming from the DSLR world, 750, D800. So not having to go out and buy $200 plus worth in CF Express or at the time XQD cards really mattered to me. So for me, that's why I decided to go with the Nikon Z5 at the time. This was $1,400 full frame, totally worth it. When we look to the video specs that the Z5 had were pretty good for what you were getting, but it was very much a photo-centric camera in my opinion. I always thought the 4K was pretty great, but I hated the fact that there was, I think, a 1.7 times crop. That would leave so much more to be desired. I mean, I could use like a 40 millimeter lens and get, in essence, like a 65 millimeter focal length, but it still was frustrating when I'd want to do ultra wide videos. So for me, the fact that you now get the 4K with no crop is spectacular. That's with the new Z5 II. Another comment that I'll make is this does not shoot with N-Log. I become really reliant on the Nikon Z8 and the ZF's N-Log, internal N-Log, and I haven't really played with the internal RAW, but they both record at 4K, I think up to 8K internal RAW, which is mind-boggling that you can now do that with Nikon cameras, and you're going to be able to do that with the Nikon Z5 II. That in and of itself, especially because I, over time, over the past 5 years, have been migrating from primarily being film-centric to hybrid 50% film, 50% video, I need a third body, really, that allows me a backup to my Z8, which is my primary camera, photo camera, as well as video camera. My ZF, I love it, but I like to keep that as my backup when I'm doing both video and photo work. And the Z5 was a backup, in essence, to my backup, but the benefit of a Z5 body is this grip, in my opinion, especially for professional work. Getting the ZF2 with the grip and the internals of the ZF, to me, is really a no-brainer. I'm planning on getting rid of my Z5. As much as I regret to say that, don't have more than I think 2,000 photos or shutter actuations on this. So clearly this was a backup body. I used it for video work in a pinch. There were some events, some film gigs that required having up to 4 cameras. So I would use my Z8, my ZF, the Z30, which I'm filming on right now, as well as the Z5. I'd use all 4 of those. Matching color in post, when you go from N-Log on 2 cameras to standard profile on 2 other cameras, it's not as beneficial as just having a 3rd camera, in my opinion, that shoots N-Log. Again, I am so excited that the Z5II has those capabilities, all on SD cards. Will I be upgrading? Yes. I am debating still between the Z6III and the Z5II. The Z5II serves pretty much 90% of what I do, so I think it will be the logical choice between the two. But the Z6III does have that partially stacked sensor, does allow for 6K, I think, raw internal filmmaking or video. I shot with the Z6III earlier this year when I was at the Nikon Wedding Filmmakers Workshop out near Las Vegas in Henderson, Nevada, and I loved it. It was wonderful. It was a nice package similar to this. Another thing that I love on my Z8 that looks to be on the Z5II as well as the Z6III, the video playback button, which you can see right here on the Z5, that's now down here for the Z5II and the Z6III. For me, when I'm going through photo reviews at an event, for a portrait session, for a wedding, etc., one of my gripes, especially because I've gotten used to it so much on the Z8, is just the button up here for video, for photo playback. The ZF, unfortunately, in my opinion, it still has that. I work with it, especially because the ZF is more the travel and fun camera, but the Z8 has the playback button right down here, and that adds so much to work settings, work environment when it comes to playback. So again, the Z5II is going to be such an amazing intro camera for so many photographers who are looking to get that full frame experience, that Nikon full frame experience with the latest and greatest tech, latest and greatest in photo, latest and greatest in video work. Also, having a flippy screen compared to the tilty screen, that changes so much as well. I can, in essence, consolidate the Z5 and the Z30 now into one camera. Such a powerful full frame package for $1,700. I can't get over that. Amazing job, Nikon. I am excited to get my hands on it. I am excited if I still have this when I get the Z5II. I'm excited to test out both of them. I imagine the Z5II will blow away the Z5. If you can find these, mine, I don't know what the value of this Z5 is anymore. I still hope it has good value. But if you can find this and you're doing photo work primarily for portraits, for weddings, for travel, just taking landscapes and travel, look into one of these. The Z5 is a wonderful camera. Highly recommend it. But I myself am pumped to upgrade to the Z5II to get all of my cameras, my Nikon mirrorless full frame cameras, the Z8, the ZF, eventually the Z5II, to get them all to have the same video specs so I can set up interviews, I can set up events, I can set up weddings when I'm filming and have all of that internal raw recording going on just at a press of a button. To me, amazing job, Nikon. Hearing the specs. I haven't used it. I'm looking forward to using it, but amazing job, Nikon. Until next time, bye.